We have a great interview coming up today. You know who that is. Yeah, next on MLS Now. The Columbus Crew, they're the biggest newsmakers in MLS this week. Not only do they have a big game coming up on Saturday against the Philadelphia Union, but they also unveiled a brand new logo, a new look, and they made a big signing for 2015, using their #1 spot in the allocation rankings to sign Kei Kamara, who makes his return to MLS. We're happy to welcome Kei Kamara with us on the line. Kei, welcome. And I'm curious, you're going back to where it all started. 2006, the Columbus Crew draft you out of college. It's where you got your start. And here you are back in Columbus. How did it all come about, and how did they sell you on this opportunity?
Yeah, it's really awesome to be back, in Columbus. I was a kid back then, and 9 years, getting drafted 9 years ago when I was drafted, and left 7 years ago. So to be back, it's something I definitely thought about over and over to really see if it's something I would want to do. And after thinking about it, I knew there was no way I can go wrong.
Kei, a lot of MLS fans, they know you as a Kansas City player with all the goals and success you had with them, and that's really where you got your international career launched. I'm curious, were there any conversations with Kansas City? Was there a chance of perhaps even a trade?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have to be honest with you guys. Kansas City is, has always been home to me in all the places I've played in the MLS. And when I left, Kansas City, there was a point where people were saying come back, and to different various teams, and I tweeted saying if I ever come back to the MLS, it's going to be Kansas City and nowhere else. But time has passed, and other options open up. I did speak to Kansas City before, to have the opportunity to come back and play over there. It was a bit different. Obviously, they were probably moving in a different direction and everything. And when it came down to when I was becoming a free player, and thinking all my options in Europe, I got a call from Greg. Greg was the first one, to call me and talk to me and, really talk about the opportunity of me coming back to the league. And so when and the way he spoke to me was really like the same way Peter first spoke to me when he traded for me from Houston. So I felt that same welcoming from him, and then that's why this happened.
Now, Kei, take us back to England. Middlesbrough, they shelled out the money for you. You transferred over there, and things seemed like they were getting off to a good start, and then all of a sudden, end of August, we hear that you guys part ways, and it really didn't leave you much wiggle room. It was so close to the window. Your options were probably limited. Tell me what happened there.
Yeah, which probably, it would have been a little bit earlier, so I can, go somewhere else, explore other options. But, things were really good at Middlesbrough, I have to be honest. Getting the transfer over there. Tony Mowbray was the manager at the moment, brought me in, really gave me my shot, gave me opportunities. And, I showed myself, I proved myself, scored some goals. I got knocked down with an injury, later on in the season. And, a new manager came in. Everything was still, I felt like everything was still going well, but, different people have a different view when it comes to, playing. Maybe I wasn't, perfect enough for the formation or perfect enough for, maybe the style of play that was coming into, Middlesbrough. But, all due respect to everyone there, the coaching staff and the organization, everything still went well. I just didn't think I can, help the club as much anymore. Knowing the vision that they had. So, mutually we spoke about it and spoke about, what the future will be for the club and everything. And, it was a mutual agreement, and, I'm more than happy, and I wish them the best of luck.
And at that point, Kei, when you leave Middlesbrough, do you have options to stay in England? Again, the window was closing, but did you have options to stay in England, maybe elsewhere in Europe, or was it always MLS in your mind?
No, definitely. I mean, I had options. Even being at Middlesbrough, I had a few options, a few different clubs, but the fact that I moved over there to play at Middlesbrough, I told them that I would love to stay at Middlesbrough and not go anywhere else. My wife had already moved over there, and I just didn't want to move around to different towns, different places. After, even with Terminate, I still had a few more options. Just a few weeks ago, I was actually with Wolverhampton, who offered me a contract, to play with them. and which I said yes. And the next minute to realize that, to find out that my work permit, was turned down because of my country, Sierra Leone, dropping in the FIFA ranking, which, all came on hands of the disaster that is out there at the moment, the Ebola. So we're not able to play games in Sierra Leone. We're playing every game away. And we lost our last couple of games, so we dropped in FIFA rankings. And so my work permit got turned down. So those were all, some of the factors, to put in play into everything that was going on. And I knew, there was a place I call home. There's a place I can always, prove myself. It's one of the best leagues. That it's one of the best leagues I've played at. I play in Championship and Premier League, and MLS is really not that far away. I love playing here and everything. And when I was given the opportunity to come back and play, I definitely said, okay.
Kei, I know Columbus fans are not complaining about how things turned out here. So you're back in Columbus. Now, again, we talked about you saw Columbus way back in the day. Here's a new Columbus, new coach, new owner, new look. What's the biggest difference that you found with Columbus? You're there now.
New crew, new crew. That's the vision. The coach told me when we spoke, told me about his vision, told me about what he wants to do over here, what kind of, the style of play that he wants to do, and everything else that's going on around the office, the front office. So when I hear that, as a player, I don't know, how many players don't want to be part of history. I'm over here, I'm going to play for a club like this that has a vision of changing stuff. And, I'm playing in the first soccer-specific stadium again, in the whole of America, one of the original teams in the whole league. That's still the original teams in the whole league. So for me, it's a perfect place.
Kei, we thank you so much for your time. Heart-shaped hands back in MLS. Kei, we look forward to seeing you in MLS next year.
Thank you very much. Heart-shaped hand, that's right. And then just a quick message for everybody out there, that's been participating in helping out in the Ebola in Sierra Leone. Please keep, donation or anything that you can to help my country, Sierra Leone. Thank you very much.
Where do you want people to donate, Kei? Let's get the message out there.
There's a lot of donations going with. They're going to Doctors Without Border, and they're playing a big role in the country over there in Sierra Leone. And obviously, my good friend, countrymate Michael Lahoud, from Philadelphia Union, also did Kick Ebola in the Butt. So you can visit that website also, kickebolainthebutt.com, and help donate. Thank you very much.